All right, Tech Twins, what's up? Ray here with Twin Folk Tech, back with another video. And I wanted to quickly today make a video that I've been kind of like neglecting making for quite a while. And it's not because I did it on purpose, but it's just because like these products here have blended so well into my life that I forgot that I was supposed to kind of be reviewing them. So here we go. So this is the Google Pixel 7, one of the latest offerings from Google. And I got to say, this phone at $599 is an absolute steal. We got the Pixel Watch here as well as the Pixel Buds Pro. Pixel Watch dropped around the same time as the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro did. The Pixel Buds came out a bit earlier alongside the Pixel 6a, but we'll still talk about them a little bit because there have been some updates to those since they have come out. So one thing I like to do is kind of live with the device before I actually make a review of it. This, I guess, can be considered a long-term review since I have been using it for, I guess, about 4 months now, ever since it launched back in October of 2022. And I have just been so pleased with this device all around. This is a serious refinement on everything that we got with the last series of Pixels, the Pixel 6 series, in every positive way imaginable. This has been, I think a lot of people, what they're saying is this has been like what the Google Pixel 6 was supposed to be. And I kind of agree and disagree with that opinion. I think that this is what happens when you take a look at, you kind of go back to the drawing board and you look at things that went well, things that didn't go so well, and things that we need to improve on. And I think Google did just that. This is definitely the epitome of refinement here. So you can see that the design is a little bit different than it was last year. We no longer have just that black back glass camera visor. We now have a brushed aluminum camera visor with the lenses and the flash poking out there, as well as your microphone there. And then we've got then we got the brushed aluminum rails along the entire side of the device as well. So it just really makes it look super sleek, super sexy, very modern design. We of course do still have the glass back, no kind of frosted design or anything for the back, so it is somewhat of a fingerprint magnet. But on this variant here, on the Snow variant, it's not so bad, and most of the time I do rock a case anyway, so that doesn't really bother me that much. But I do think, just to kind of get a little bit closer to the times of and what everybody else is doing, I think Google does need to start giving us those frosted glass back options and kind of go away from this fingerprint magnet design. But I will say this kind of does feel like ceramic in a way. But anyway, we've got the nice ergonomically curved back of the phone here with that flat panel. So I do love flat displays, cannot stand curved displays. And I think that, making the device a little bit smaller, a little bit more pocketable this year, I think I went down from 6.5 inches down to 6.3 inches for this device, makes it a little bit more pocketable, a little bit more easy to use and wield. It just feels very, very good in the hand. I hate that I'm saying that techie cliche, but dang it, it feels good in the hand. I can't help it. So a lot of the refinements here are not just visual, not just aesthetically, but also under the hood here as well. So we're coming with Google's second year of their in-house processor, the Google Tensor G2, so generation 2 of the Google Tensor processor. And so it's not going to be the most benchmarkiest chip out there. It's not, this SoC is not all about crushing benchmarks. It's not about raw power. This chip is about ambient computing and AI smarts and that prowess that we have come to know from Google. So when it comes to the computational photography, when it comes to things like voice to text, when it comes to smart features like call screen, hold for me, direct my call, even things like separating out speakers when you record a voice memo, like Google, the Google Pixel 7 is smart enough to know that there are multiple people speaking when you're doing a voice memo. So that to me just screams actual usability, actual real world usability. I'm not going to be sitting here playing like AAA games on my device. I don't need overclocked GPUs and all that kind of stuff going on. and doing crazy stuff like that on the phone. I need a phone that is reliable, that takes care of me, and does things for me that I don't even know that it is doing to make my life easier. So that goes back to the call screen and hold for me, you know, getting rid of all those spam calls in the background. I mean, that alone to me is reason enough to pick up this device. But of course, you can't talk about a Google Pixel device without talking about the cameras. So we've got here 50 megapixel main camera here and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens. So I don't really know what the sensors are. I do know, but I don't really recall right now. And I just don't really care. I'm not a spec sheet reading guy. I'm not that dude. I'm not a numbers dude. So if that is your jam, there are way more popular YouTubers out there, far more popular than I, that will be happy to read a spec sheet to you. Anyhow, the photography prowess of this device is unparalleled. I mean, you've got different features like, of course, night sight. Google is known for taking some of the best low light photographs in the game. You got, you know, your long exposure, your action pan. You got a brilliant portrait mode. You've got, of course, just your regular camera modes that take fantastic shots. Google's computational photography is just unmatched at this point. And then even in the video department, a lot of people like to try to say that Google's video is not good. And they also like to say just in general, Android video is not good. But I think now Android video has come a long way from what it once was. And Google has given us the ability to not only do 4K 60 on this device, but we can do 4K 60 across all three focal lengths. You know, up to, what is that? Up to 7x. So basically you can go from the 0.7x ultra wide up to the 1x main, 2 times digital zoom, all the way up to a 7 times digital zoom while recording 4K 60 frames per second video. We also have HDR video. You can only record that in 4K 30, but with that, it does also, when you're doing 4K 30, it triggers the HDR, and it also triggers the speech enhancement feature to come on, which will give you much more clear audio when someone is speaking, you know, your subject is speaking that you're filming. So really, really neat features there. But then we also are going to get 4K 60 on the front-facing selfie cam. So that is not something that we had last year on the standard Google Pixel 6. We only had 1080p 60, I believe it was capped at on the standard Pixel 6. And then the Pixel 6 Pro, I believe, had the 4K 30 maybe on the front. I can't remember. But yeah, we definitely did not have 4K 60 on the front-facing selfie cam last year on the Pixel 6. So this is a huge, huge upgrade. Of course, we still got features like slow motion, time lapse, and then you got all of your different stabilization modes. I, for one, super love cinematic pan. That's one that I use quite a bit. And then speaking of cinematic, we also have a new cinematic video mode on the Google Pixel 7. So with cinematic video, this is something similar to like that portrait video or cinematic video like you might see on like iPhones and Samsung devices. So they've had that feature on their phones for, I think, at least 2 generations now. But this is the first time that we've gotten it on a Pixel device. And it is still a bit sophomorish, I guess you can say. It is not yet fully matured, but I will give Google a break on that. I'll give them a pass on that because this is the first year that they've implemented this feature on their devices. So I think it's only going to get better with time. And again, I really think that the video on the Google Pixel is outstanding because they have kind of added their like computational smarts to the video recording process, just like they do with their still shots. So I think it's really, really awesome. Another cool thing that we have this year on the Google Pixel 7, if you are editing a photo, and it doesn't have to be a photo that you've taken on the Pixel 7. It can also be a photo that you've taken on other devices and that you import to your Pixel 7. You could use this unblur feature. So I took an extremely blurry photo, and so it's not going to work the best on this particular photo. But for like things like older family pictures, I've used this unblur feature a lot. I'm not going to share those photos because I believe in respecting my family's privacy, but I've used that feature quite a bit on a lot of older family photos that have kind of degraded over time, and the results are just like fantastic. Like, it's crazy being able to see a little bit more detail being brought back to some of those older photos that otherwise would you know, just have degraded over time and not really be that that easy to see. So that is all really cool. I think that this is everything that I did want from the 6, but I didn't know that I needed it, and I didn't think that Google would actually do it. So they have really done a bang up job of pretty much overhauling and taking care of any qualms or complaints that any people had with their devices. In the 6 series. So of course you got your 90 hertz panel. This year we actually have an improved fingerprint sensor for the Google Pixel 7 series. I never had any issues with my fingerprint sensor on my Pixel 6 because I had the 6 and the 6 Pro and the 6a, and I never had any issues with fingerprints whatsoever, but a lot of people allegedly did, so Google has taken care of that, and it's still an optical fingerprint scanner and not your ultrasonic. But personally for me, I've had more trouble with ultrasonic fingerprint sensors like you'd find on the Galaxy phones than I have ever had with an optical fingerprint scanner on any device. So I really think that this year it's even faster than what it was last year. And then of course we have face unlock added. So let's see if it recognizes my face, and it says unlock by face. So I don't have that feature turned on where when it recognizes your face, it just opens up the phone completely. I do it where you have to swipe up after it recognizes your face. So I really think the face unlock is pretty good. It doesn't do so well in like super low light, but if you are in pretty decent lighting, you can rely on it. It's not going to be, you know, that 3D face unlock like what you can get on an Apple iPhone or what you can find on some other like Huawei phones. I think they just dropped a phone that has similar biometrics as the Apple iPhone, just where it does like a 3D scan of your face rather than just using kind of like just the normal selfie cam. Those phones also have a 3D sensor in there as well, I think. But anyway, this works well enough for me. I just like being able to, you know, not have to always rely on the fingerprint sensor, especially if like my hands are full or occupied or whatever. So that is pretty great. I can't really think of a lot of cons with this phone, if any. I would really say my only gripe is going to be that we don't have a miniature version of the Pro. I think that if Google gave us that telephoto lens on here and kept everything else the same, we could keep the 90 hertz, we can keep the 1080p panel. If they gave us the telephoto lens on here as well, that would just be the icing on the cake. I personally don't take many telephoto shots. Like I still have a Pixel 6 Pro and other phones with telephoto cams, but I think that would be a welcome addition to this device. Just bring those camera features down and keep everything else the same. The 1080p display, keep the 90 hertz the same, all that good stuff. I don't need anything really to change other than that. I just, even though I don't take that many you know, zoom shots, it would be nice to have that option of a dedicated telephoto on here. But other than that, man, I have been rocking and rolling with this device and absolutely loving it. Every time I put my SIM card, my main SIM card, into another device, it always ends up back in the Pixel 7. I cannot leave this device alone. I cannot put it down, except for now I just put it down. But I really, really love this device. But moving on to the Pixel Watch, this is something that does need a little bit of work. I still am having quite an excellent time with it. The advertised battery life for this is about 24 hours. And I have been getting at least 32 hours, like anywhere from at least 28 to 32 hours, like minimum on this watch. Sometimes I can push it up to about 36 hours at most. So I'm getting a full day and a half use out of this device, depending on how hard I push it. And I don't really push it extremely hard. So with this, basically, I don't have always on display on. I just have the raise to wake feature. I don't have every notification under the sun going to the wrist. I don't have just like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I don't have all that coming to the wrist. DoorDash, all that's just unnecessary. I only have text messages and emails coming to the wrist. So I think that if you have that kind of lower usage like me, you can definitely get some pretty impressive battery life out of this. Only real gripe with this device is they didn't give us different size choices. I think that giving consumers choices is very important. And if you make a bigger size, then you can give us a bigger battery, and that will therefore even further improve battery life, and you won't have to take such stringent measures yourself to try to eke out every ounce of battery life that you can out of the device. I think that one of the features that I wouldn't even call a feature, I call it a failure on Google's part here, is they have that constant heart rate monitoring on this device, and that gets pretty annoying. That's a huge battery drain right there that they could easily address by just pushing a software update out to this thing and making sure that you have the option to get your heart rate when you want to get your heart rate instead of it always trying to check for your heart rate. The other thing, one other kind of gripe that I have with this is it doesn't seem to sync with your phone's do not disturb or sleep settings. I find that to be a bizarre oversight, especially from a software forward company like Google, where the Google Pixel Watch and the Pixel device, or any device that you pair this to, really, it doesn't allow you to have that do not disturb or sleep mode turn on your watch when it's on your phone, or vice versa. I know with my Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 that I had, it would do that no problem. And I just think that's just like a feature that should be here. So Google, if you're watching this, definitely see about rolling out an update to this device to address those concerns. Turn off that constant heart rate monitoring. Let us have those different focus modes synced up. And I think you got a real winner here. Other than that, the last thing that I'll say about the Pixel Watch is there's nothing here that feels like truly googly about this device. Everything about this device, I mean, it's like a Wear OS smartwatch, and you got that Fitbit integration as well, which is pretty neat. But there's nothing here that gives us like specific googly features, because as great as the voice to text is on the Pixel devices, the Pixel Watch does not benefit from that same voice to text technology. So it's kind of weird. It's very noticeable that when you do voice to text on the Pixel Watch versus doing voice to text on the Pixel 7, that it's not really going to be that same level of understanding what you're saying and capturing your words properly. So I would say if Google adds a little bit more Google exclusive features to the Pixel Watch, that will make it a little bit more attractive to people. Also, maybe coming down on the price a little bit, because what did I pay? $350 for this is a little steep, and this is just the Bluetooth Wi-Fi version. This isn't even the LTE version, so $350 was a little steep for this. I would say coming in at about maybe $299 for the Bluetooth Wi-Fi model, and then maybe $350 for the LTE model. That would probably be the way to go on the next generation. So bigger size, bigger battery, better syncing up with things on the phone here, like your focus modes and whatnot, adding some unique googly features, and turning off that gosh darn constant heart monitoring. And I think you got a winner on your hands. But other than that, I would definitely say this is a great first outing for Google with the Pixel Watch here. Their first like official Pixel wearable. So absolutely love it. And then the Pixel Buds Pro, we have seen some updates come lately. We just recently got a toggle for spatial audio that comes up in the in your settings. So if I go to the Pixel Buds, I can now see this toggle for spatial audio, but it doesn't quite work. Only people that are on the current beta, that are in the beta program, can actually have, that are on the beta update, can have the spatial audio truly work. So I haven't gotten it to work yet. I'm not on beta. I'm just running stable on my Pixel 7 because this is my main device. I don't run beta on my main daily driver device. So I will wait, I guess, until the March update possibly to come back and report to you about the spatial audio on here. But the toggle is there, at least for the time being. We do, of course, have now a custom EQ now. So this is grayed out because I don't have the earbuds in my ear. But basically, you're able to, toggle these to your liking. If you want more treble, you can get more treble. If you want your mids to be a little bit higher, you can boost your mids. If you are a bass head, then you can crank up the bass. So I do think that this is a feature that was really appreciated, but it came after the buds were already out. So they didn't launch with this feature, which I found weird. So it came through an update. And then the spatial audio thing as well, I think is weird that, this is just yet another thing that they advertise as being a feature of the device, yet the device didn't launch with it. And even though I can see the toggle there, the feature still does not work. So that would be my big gripe really about the Pixel Buds, and also the fact that they do not come with any high-res Bluetooth codecs. They're just going to come with SBC and AAC, which are your basic Bluetooth codecs. So that's kind of disappointing for something that is supposedly a pro offering. But other than that, I gotta say, this trio of devices here has been pretty impressive in terms of just like how well they play together for the most part. I would say, other than the Pixel Watch really not syncing up with like your focus settings and stuff on your smartphone, these play pretty well together because you can link your Pixel Buds to your watch. You can download music on your watch and things like that, and have the Bluetooth pair, have them Bluetooth pair with your Pixel Buds. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what Google has to offer. Really, really excited and looking forward to the Pixel Tab. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. What has been your experience with the Pixel 7, the Pixel Watch, and the Pixel Buds Pro in the long term? Definitely leave some comments below, and I'll also leave some links in the description to let you know where you can pick up any of these yourself. But as always, be good to each other, be good to your tech, and stay 20. I'm out of here.